Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly, guys. Hopefully we'll have a good show for you today, and hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I'm here, Mike Spider Slayer, and these are my co-hosts. This is always Comic Bruno.
How's it going, guys?
And this is Brant Fowler.
What's up, everybody?
So yeah, I don't think it's a huge news week. I think they were struggling to find news pieces this week, right?
I threw in some OGNs because I'm like, there's not much to talk about.
So as usual, we'll get started with the news. We'll talk about the topic of the Britain Corps, and then we'll also talk a little bit about Future State as well, because in our last conversation, Brant wasn't here. Plus, there was the preview comic that kind of came out to give you an idea what the characters look like, and get you hyped up for the books and find out how many books are coming out and which month. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as well, and then dive into the comics and most anticipated and all that great stuff. So I'm going to hand it over to Kat, and let's get it started.
All right, so let's get into it. First, we're going to do some media news, which is John Diggle to guest in multiple CW shows, and he's going to be directing those CW shows as well. Oh. Yeah, so he's going to be in Superman and Lois, Supergirl, The Flash, Batwoman, and Legends of Tomorrow. Or maybe he's returning to all 5.
Wow.
Crazy. So I'm guessing it's Green Lantern related, especially with the Legends aspect, because they have some alien stuff going on. But I think it's cool. Arrow ended, and they have a place for that character.
Yeah, he was a great character, and he became kind of a fan favorite, so I'm glad to see him continuing on.
All right.
I got nothing else better to do anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good gig for him, too, because he's like, all right, he's doing the acting, and then he's also directing. It's like, how do you get a better deal than that? He's like,
all paycheck.
Work. Yeah,
it's right until it dies, baby.
He's going to be Green Lantern forever. And maybe he'll have a part in that HBO show, which he probably won't, which is why he's doing stuff for the
Probably.
All right, going into comic news. I saw some people already talking about it. So we'll talk about the Starfire original graphic novel that's coming out. And this has her daughter being introduced and living in her shadow, I believe. Mariko Tamaki is writing it. Let me see. I do not. Yeah, she's writing it, which... What she does best, honestly, is these OGN YAs. She's won awards for a lot of the, her graphic novel stuff. So I'm interested. I think it's such a crazy concept in a good way. I never expected a YA graphic novel that'd be with Starfire. You would expect Batman or Superman. But Starfire that's great because she's a supermodel alien. How do you get out of her shadow if you're the daughter? So I think that's a really cool concept.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like Gert from Runaways meets Starfire a little bit. Kind of anti-establishment. Do what I want to do. Don't paint me in a box, and I'm going to be who I am. And like you said, stepping out of her mom's shadow, it's an interesting concept for sure.
And when is this released?
Sometime in 2021, I believe.
They didn't give an actual date.
1 second. No, August. So it's actually going to be a while.
Wow.
So 2021 August.
That's hey, we just started writing this.
Oh yeah, they needed some announcements, I guess. I don't know why I think they do announce the YAs pretty early, and that's what they end up doing. But yeah, I'm interested. I feel like I'm going to forget about it. That's the issue. I kind of wish this was a mini series of some sort, because then I'd actually pick it up. For the YAs and the graphic novels, I just forget about them because they don't really advertise them that much. So I'm just I won't remember this comes out. I'm that was interesting.
Yeah, one day you'll come out and you'll be like, oh, that's right. That's what's going to happen.
I probably get it at a Black Friday sale or a sale of some sort. It's oh, cool, I could get it now, because then you remember. Because honestly, I don't really look at my shelves when it comes to going to the store. I honestly just go and pick up my comics. I know Mike's different with his haul, but I usually just go pick up my comics and leave. But I also have to like read all my comics that day, so I was like, all right, I chit chat with everyone who works there and like people shopping, and then I leave. I don't really normally like look at the graphic novels or like look at the back issues.
Yeah. I make sure I have everything because I have gotten burned a couple of times, not on purpose, Yeah. And then it's like, oh crap, I didn't get this. Or then there's something like I see in the shelf that I didn't put on my pull, and I'm like, okay, I think maybe I will try this out. So it's always kind of like the impulse buy situation.
Yeah, I tend to go look. I know I have a basic idea what's in the pool, so I tend to go look at the shelf and just kind of see what I see, and then go get my books. So.
Yep.
Kind of interesting question from Troy.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. Do you think the industry can support a new online version of Comic Buyer's Guide or Wizard Magazine? It's hard with Wizard Magazine because it's like news is old by the time a magazine comes out, but an online version, I think they actually tried to do that a few years ago.
They did that a while back.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it didn't go well enough for them to continue it. Comic Buyer's Guide, yeah, I mean, they should do an online version of that. I feel
like they kind of have it with that price guide website.
Yeah,
like they update
true.
that. I think that's a pretty similar thing that's going on there. That's at least what I use when I have to figure out prices. As for Wizard Magazine, it's the reason Wizard Magazine existed is because you didn't have like websites like Newsrama or IGN and stuff like that. But now you have those websites and you're getting immediate news. The only thing I could see like Wizard Magazine doing well is like, I don't know if you guys know Panel X Panel. Hassan, who does Will's book, who edits his book, runs that. Like that's a more of like think piece, critical scholar. This is how comics work. I think a magazine like that would work because it's evergreen. For a Wizard Magazine, it's not evergreen. It's stuff that would have been covered from Newsrama or IGN a month ago. Yeah,
exactly. And the most fun that I had with Wizard was like when they would do the fan art or the drawing lessons or the Mort of the Month, that kind of stuff. But again, that's all kind of content that you get on all those sites. So
yeah, I agree. It's something that just doesn't work right now at this point in time. You would have to really do something outside of the box to make something like that successful.
Right.
All right, that was a really good question. Thank you. We love the questions, so keep them coming. There's also another OGN coming out. Let me see what the date is for this. We have summer 2021, so I guess they're announcing everything now. Poison Ivy is getting an OGN and a new love interest, a new female love interest named Alice, which I think is really cool. A, I think it's cool that we're getting more LGBT representation, but B, I like that Poison Ivy is not being dictated by just Harley, which is so strange because I feel like Harley's always dictated by the Joker and Poison Ivy's always dictated by what Harley's up to. So it's kind of cool that like they're still, not keeping her queerness no matter who she's dating or not dating. She's still queer, but like it's cool that we're kind of getting a spotlight on it that has nothing to do with Harley and just has to do with her. Again, sounds like a great book. Probably won't pick it up because I'll forget it came out. But if I don't forget, maybe I'll pick it up.
Yeah, and who's to say that, Poison Ivy can't explore other relationships either? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of cool. So it's like, hey, it's okay. It's okay if she's not dating Harley this particular comic month or year or whatever. Who's to say that they have to be exclusive all the time?
Right.
So those are the OGN news pieces we had. We also have a lot of actually Marvel news, but I'm going to start out with some Kickstarter news. So Sarah, who is the lead of Witchblade, is returning, Pizzini, who is getting a volume 2 hardcover on Kickstarter now. But the catch is, and this is really interesting from this week's news pieces, is that they're going to have a special half issue only for people who backed up the Kickstarter and used CrowdOx, which is kind of like backer kit. or else you're not getting this half issue. So it's going to be extremely exclusive for only Kickstarter. And also we have another news piece. Chris Claremont is making a new Wolverine issue exclusive to Reed Pop's Marvel bundle, not coming out in comic book stores, exclusive to just like this online thing, which
weird.
I like, but I'm also like,
Well,
I'm interested in seeing the next 5 years what this means. Like, are there going to be comics like Batman, a miniseries from whoever, coming out only through Kickstarter? You know, it's interesting.
It's also interesting because we were just talking about Wizard Magazine, and sometimes to hype a new book, companies like Image and Marvel both would do like a half issue only available bundled with Wizard Magazine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the only way you can get that. So it's similar in concept. So it's like an old school thing coming back in a new way, which is really cool. And as far as like Witchblade, it's cool because Sarah hasn't been Witchblade in a long time now. So for longtime fans of Witchblade, that's pretty neat too.
I'm curious what that other book's gonna happen. Like, I didn't love the other book, but I'm wondering if that's just like not gonna happen anymore, and they're just gonna have this one.
Right. Oh, and also Crowdox is backer kit now. They merged.
Oh, they merged. Okay.
Yeah, recently.
So they're like backer kit because they are backer kit.
Speaking of those half issues, like I have a X-Men 0 issue or whatever it is from Wizard Magazine, and it was signed by Stan Lee.
Nice.
Oh, was it? Wow.
It was a Wizard thing that I bought way back when, and it has a authenticity certificate with it as well. And I think there's a couple other things I got from Wizard, like I don't know if it was like Dark Clyde issue 1. You remember that old Image? It's like a Witchblade wannabe,
Exactly.
It's so funny, man. It's just, that stuff was cool though. I like that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the Image books had those half issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gen 13, and that's cool.
I'm curious in the buyer's market how high priced these are going to be though. Like after this Kickstarter is done, will this half issue be worth like $100 or $50? Because they have such a limited print run, and they were going to, specific people.
Right. I don't know.
I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. But yeah, let's get into the other X-Men news here. We have Dawn of X comes to an end. So it's going to be called now Reign of X. So this is the new chapter for Jonathan Hickman's run. They give a little teaser what's going to happen. It looks like Laura is finally coming back.
Yes.
Coming out of that vault.
Finally. I like that there seems to be a plan, right? I mean, not that I didn't think that Jonathan Hickman had a plan, but I like that there's chapters and there feels to be an ending, because in comics, especially with ongoing superhero books, even with certain runs, you're just like, well, when is this going to end? What is their final note? Like, what's their act structure? So at least this feels like an act structure. Like, okay, we're in Act 2 now. Then we'll get to Act 3, and then Jonathan Hickman will wrap his run. So I like it. I'm interested to see what happens. We'll obviously talk about X of Swords in a bit, but it's cool.
I forget which artist it was, but somebody... an artist posted on Twitter a double page spread promo piece that they were doing specifically for Reign of X, and it looked really cool. So just want to throw that out there. But go ahead, Mike. I was just going to kind of agree with Kat that I like that he's splitting it up like this. Like there's different eras, and we had Dawn of X now, or Reign of X, and then maybe it's a 3-act thing. Maybe there'll be a third one. Who knows? That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people don't like Hickman, some people don't like Hickman's X-Men, and that's all fine. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion of it. I've overall enjoyed it. I think it's different, and I think it's better than what we have had in the past. And at least there's a plan in place. And that teaser image had a lot of like little things that you had guessing. You know what I'm saying? You'll see certain characters. Like you saw Nimrod in there, which was in the original, House of X and Dawn of X, and you get to see Arcade in there as well. Like, are you going to get Murder World back in there? You get to see Jean and Cyclops, and you get to see Emma. holding an invitation to the Hellfire Club, and just there's all these little things in there that might have you guessing, So, and I think Legion is in there somewhere too. So it's like it's one of those things that I think it's just going to it's probably going to get better as time goes along, and things that people were looking for in House of X and Powers of 10, might get answered that haven't been explored in a while. This 10 of Swords thing was kind of like, the middle act or whatnot, and it's just, how Hickman writes. It's like he writes a story and then it doesn't pay off until 35 issues, 40 issues later.
Yeah.
We know that about him. Like, people should know this by now with all the other stuff that he's done, So
I do agree with a lot of people, though. Where's Mora? I do want to see her. And it's been a little bit. She was supposed to get her own comic. I have no clue what happened with that.
I mean, again, I'm hoping that she returns. Like, she has been missing since I think it was like Powers of 10 and how, right? It was like,
that was the last time we've seen her.
Early on,
Like, that was the last time you saw her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe so.
I've not seen her anywhere else.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with it, but hopefully that stuff gets explored again.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. We're going to get into the last news piece, and then we're going to talk about best comics, and then we'll get into the future state stuff. But yeah, Marvel canceled a couple of titles here. So we have Rise of the Skywalker, which is just like a retelling of what the movie was. So that's fine. Morbius ongoing is officially canceled. And Spider-Man Daily Planet, and then Dark Agnes. Honestly, none I was really looking forward to. So I am cool with these cancellations. How about you guys?
Yeah. I don't even know what Dark Agnes was. Is that one of the Conan ones?
Probably. Honestly, I was like, what is a Dark Agnes?
Yeah. No, I mean, the Daily Planet one is Daily Planet, not Daily Planet, Daily Bugle. Yeah,
it's Daily
wrong
Bugle.
Universe.
Yeah.
I think we all tried that, and I think Michael was the only one of us that actually enjoyed it, right?
I totally forgot that comic book existed.
Yeah, me too.
And same with Morbius too. Like, I read the first 4 issues of it, I think it was, or 3 issues of it, and it was okay. Like, I liked the covers of them, and then when I saw this news piece, I'm like, oh, I forgot this comic exists also.
Yeah.
Did you say Spider-Man Daily Planet? So yeah, we got our universes confused somehow.
I totally did. I'm sorry.
It's the ultimate crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a pretty boring crossover. Oh no. I would want to read it. Dark Agnes or Black Agnes is Conan. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
None of us read Conan. There's enough Conan books out there. I think we're good. So that was all the news. We are going to just highlight that we have our best comics of the year going on right now on our website. So I'm going to screen share it. And also first, before I screen share it, let me share it with you guys so you can vote for your favorite categories of 2020. I know it was a weird year for everything and comics especially, but we still picked out our favorite of the year. So this week we had cover artist, event, one shot, cover, and new character. So we all picked our favorite in each category, and then the bottom, we just go to the bottom. I know it's going quick. But on the bottom, we have a poll. So you guys can vote which is your favorite cover artist, and then by the beginning of January, end of December, we'll announce who all the winners were and what was the best of 2020 from your votes. So it's a lot of fun. We like it. We've been doing the best of for years, but we haven't we did this format last year, and we thought this was the best for all of us, and we had the most fun doing it this way. So here it is. So be sure to vote.
Yep, absolutely.
Please. Yeah,
it shows you that we do read every single one of our comic books. That's the crazy thing. As busy as we are, we do find time to read all these books. Kat may read all 30 books in one day. I may read a few here and there by the time I get to Tuesday after finish reading them. Brant reads them, and then he'll fall behind, but then catches up on them again.
Yeah,
depends on the workload, right?
Right.
But we do all read them. That's the one thing we do.
It's also interesting to see like what's similar in those categories, what's different. It's also always interesting to see that with our panels, which I'll also not screen share, but just share. We do our favorite panels of the week every week. And at the end of the year, we also do kind of a similar thing where we list all the panels that won. And you guys get the vote panel of the year. So we have a fun time doing that. And it's cool. Like sometimes we'll have like a similar panel or none of us will have the same panels. So it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it. And we'll say next week's categories. So they're posted every Monday for the month of December. So we have like 4 more weeks where we're doing it. So next week is, let me find it. We have best couple, best friendship, best breakout talent, and best moment. So look forward to those.
That's a moment. That's a hard one. Best moment.
Yeah.
I tried figuring that one out. It was harder this year because of comics stopping and then like not having that many big comics coming out. So it was honestly really hard to pick that. I somehow picked 5, but it was very hard. So we are going to jump into future state before we get into comics though. So Mike, you got the book. I did too, but usually when I get those books, I throw them in the garbage, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, really? Yeah. I didn't look at it either, so
all right. So if you
I love that you have them in the back of the board too.
If you throw them in the garbage this past week, you should have gotten this. Maybe they might still have another one there. So it's these.
You could fish out in my garbage if you want to find it.
So
don't go through Kate's garbage. No.
So funny, man. You guys are hilarious. So everything inside, it gave you a little bit of insight of like the timeline of future state, who your characters are, kind of like what they look like inside. The timeline was kind of crazy because it starts from where these books take place. They take place from anywhere from 2025, and it goes all the way to the end of time. And so the end of time, you got to think is Legion of Superheroes, right? So that's what you would think that book takes place in. But they do give you some cool character sketches, like kind of like what Immortal Wonder Woman looks like inside. Like she's wearing Batman's utility belt right here, and she's wearing a Green Lantern ring around her neck. They give you characters like, here's Batman. This is the way he's going to look like inside as well. So he looks like this, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then they give you the different Wonder Women in there as well. So I know a lot of people are looking forward to these Wonder Woman books. And they give you some art pages. And here's some more like character sketches as well.
I love the Steph and Cass one. That's all I'm looking forward to.
So we got that in there. And then the most important thing I thought was like, if you want to know, where your checklist is and all the books that are coming out at certain points and times, they have that as well, which is on the back of the book. So there's a lot. There is a lot of books. There was a lot more than I thought there was going to be. This gives you all the cover. This is all the cover art on here as well. So that was kind of cool that they showed you all that. But when you look at for January in itself, Future State is pretty hefty. I mean, you got books coming out as soon as January 5th. And then you got books from January 12th, January 19th, and January 26th. And when you look at the total amount of books, I think in January, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So you got 25 DC books that are coming out. And some of them range from like $6.99 to the $3.99 price point. Oh, I'm sorry, $7.99. Like
because they have like 3 stories in one for like next.
Yeah,
Batman,
you got like the Future State. The next Batman issue 1 is 64 pages and it's $8. You got then you got like Superman Metropolis, which is 48 pages and that's $6. You got the Dark Detective, that's 64 pages, that's $8. So, but then you got your normal ones that are $3.99 as well. So I mean, there's a decent amount of books there for the $3.99 price point. It'll be curious to see which ones will be good. I don't know which ones I'm going to be picking up for sure. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with some of them. I like want to get all of them, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely not getting all of them. I don't think I'm getting the Superman ones because I haven't been reading Superman. I think the only Superman one I'm going to get is Supergirl. Definitely getting Immortal Wonder Woman. This is from the top of my head. I'm probably going to get at least probably all the Batman because you have the new Batman, next Batman, whatever it's called. And then you have Nightwing. Is there any Harley Quinn, Gotham City Sirens?
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Yeah, Wonder Woman, Dark Detective. You got the new Justice League. You got Robin Eternal.
See, a lot of these I want to try. I think I'm going to try all those.
There's Teen Titans as well. Immortal Wonder Woman, like you said, Shazam, Superman, Worlds at War. That kind of looks kind of cool, actually.
I just can't get all of them.
Aquaman, though, like I don't think I'm getting Aquaman.
I'm gonna probably skip Aquaman as well. Yeah. I'll get enough of the Aquaman stuff in Justice League, so I'll just read that.
Are they still doing the Black Racer one?
Which one's the Black Racer?
I don't know. I just saw it on one of the lists.
I don't know.
Imperious, like I'm not getting that either. No. Dark Detective, Justice League, Kara Zor-El.
I see. That's part of the Superman Worlds of War one.
Oh, okay, so you might get the Superman.
Issues. Yeah, Black Racer is kind of cool. The Wonder Woman stuff, definitely the Batman stuff.
Well, Wonder Woman might just be worth price-wise, because those are things like the Wonder Girl's going to make an appearance. That's going to probably just be worth it just having in your collection. But either way, like I was already looking forward to Immortal Wonder Woman, because I feel like Wonder Woman, she never gets the spotlight. So I was like, you gotta give it a try.
I'll probably get the Green Lantern too, because it's one of them's the last Lanterns. So like I assume it's going to be the last ever Green Lantern. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting Green Lantern.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably get Green Lantern.
It's the first Green Lantern book that has multiple lanterns in it in such a long time, right? So so that makes sense. I'm curious what the Suicide Squad's gonna be like, and especially after what happened. Like, I guess if this is a few years ahead of time, I don't know.
Different universe, we don't know either. Well, that's the thing that I'm a little weary on, is that how we know that future state's probably not going to affect anything, so I hope the stories are really well contained. And that's what I feel like with a lot of these recent DC books, because they're waiting for March. Like I did an interview for Red Hood, and the writer said it's a very self-contained because they don't want to affect it with future state. And then same thing for Endless Winter. I did an interview with the creative team at Endless Winter, and they said we really want to make it self-contained. And it's like there's stuff that will tease for the future, but it's not really like connected to the future. Right. So you're seeing like a lot of these current books are like, we cannot talk about the future because there's so many other stuff going on. So it makes things a little unexciting, because it's just like, well, why is it not connected to anything? Unless it's a really good self-contained story. Let's say like Three Jokers. Three Jokers didn't have to be contained, didn't have to connect to anything, because it's just a really good 3-act story. At least for us. I know people have their opinions, but whatever. I like Three Jokers.
And I'm just wondering if they're waiting to see what sells, maybe that they can actually use in the future. If they sit there and they say, "Oh, well, this book with future Batman or this version of Wonder Woman does really well, we'll make a book of her." So
we'll see. That was weird. Not weird because they're making a TV show, but it was interesting that they said that so quickly, because they don't even know if people are going to like the character or not yet.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, at least there's new titles coming out, and, it gives you a reason to try some of them, because we haven't had new, exciting titles from DC in a very long time. All they've been doing is canceling stuff. So at least this gets you something to try, even if it is a couple of months, only.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, the way I'm kind of looking at it is, I ate up the original Age of Apocalypse from Marvel because it was something like that. It was completely different takes on the characters. Didn't really matter to the main universe when all was said and done. Aside from Nate Crape, crossing over, but it was still cool and fun and
Right.
different. And so I'm kind of going into this with that same attitude. So.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm also interested in the new writers. Like I'm interested in new voices, and that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of the DC future state. So at least, got to look a little bit of it, but maybe if, hopefully, you guys, if you did not get your free copy, maybe they might still have it at the shop and you can pick it up, and maybe Kat, you can pick it up again.
I'm good.
And then you find out that book is worth like $20 million in like 20 years from now, and she'll be like,
I don't think so.
I remember I had that and I just threw it in the trash.
Every single time I get those previews, every single one I throw in the trash. I don't need that. Do you keep all the preview magazines? Do you keep them all?
No, this one I kept because I just felt like it gave you some useful information. Like I actually read some of it. It gave you some info on the characters and whatnot. So I thought it was kind of cool.
All right, I accept that. Where are you going to say, Grant?
I'm kind of a pack rat, so I just kind of toss stuff in a pile and just forget about it.
No, I can't. I can't have it.
Yeah.
Can't do that. But yeah,
I don't leave it a mess. It's just in a box somewhere,
But if I'm not gonna ever use it, one idea I actually have, if you see me at a Comic-Con, but I know Mike does this with his garage sales, but there's comics I know I'm never gonna read and maybe I didn't particularly enjoy as much. I'll probably gonna give some away for free if you buy my comic at a Comic-Con, because it's just what am I doing with them? I could shrink my my collection a little bit, and hopefully people could enjoy some comics. And that's even if they're newer comics or older comics, just something I could give, and again maybe rejuvenize the next generation for comic book reading. That's how you start it off.
I've done that before. I put up a $1 box, everything in the box is $1 and that kind of thing.
No.
Yeah, I've sold a lot of comics in my garage sales, and like I said, now I've been selling them on that site Macari, and I've actually sold some runs of stuff, so
nice.
So which actually has been more successful. I sell it for at least cover price, where in a garage sale those books will go for $1 a piece. And and then people still try to bargain with me. And they're like, "Oh, you think that 50 cents?" I'm like, fine, But at least on the website, I can sell them.
Hey, Mike, your audio's getting really bad, man.
Yeah, went low. I knew what you're saying, but it got a little muffled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with Mike's mic, and it's a completely different thing that usually happens. So that's why I'm I don't even know. Don't know what's going on with his mic, but I think it's a good way to give a chance for people to read some comics, and we'll see if it works out. It might be too much to lug, but I have to sit down and kind of reorganize my collection a bit. It's been a while. So
yeah, me too.
Gotta get on that. I have
all that stuff is not organized at all. It's just I had to throw it in a bunch of boxes when we moved, and so it's all over the place. It's all mixed up.
That's about probably the amount I have that needs to be put in boxes. It's not good. You have no time. It's just when you have time to do it.
Right.
All right, let's see. Mike's mic.
Any better?
A little bit. I hear you, but it's a little low. I wonder what's going on today with it.
I don't know. I think it's StreamYard or something. I don't know what it is.
No.
That's a little better. Yeah.
It is better, though, yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I guess we'll just carry on and see how it goes. Stupid StreamYard, because it always happens. It's 1 minute it's fine, and then the next minute it's oh, wait, just...
It's I know, and it also with Facebook as well always doesn't work. I guess YouTube is just you can't hear anyone's audio. It's great, But it is better than Google Hangouts. That was a lot worse. So
yes, for sure.
This one, at least people stay on the screen, because before, like, you used to get kicked out. But yeah, that was our future state talk. We are gonna go into our Kickstarters, me and Brant, and then we're gonna go into comics. And I have a feeling we're gonna have some time for some Q&A questions if along the way you want to ask some questions, or at the end of the show ask some questions, because we don't have like a ton of books this week. Next week we have a lot of big books. I'm not getting a lot of books, but there are a lot of big books next week or tomorrow. So yeah, let's go, Brent. Since your internet is okay right now, we'll go to yours first. I'll pull it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've got a Kickstarter for The Last Ember Hunted going on right now. I got 13 days to go. I need to like tighten up my pitch, but it's basically about this teenage girl named Ember who gets these abilities to control and create fire. She has no idea why she has them, but later on she learns that she is a fire goddess, and not only just a fire goddess, but the last of her kind. There are no more, and she has to figure out what that means for her life. In this arc, there is a serial killer hunting down mythological beings like Ember, and he's headed her way. And this is going to start a chain reaction of a bunch of events that change Ember's world forever. And in the meantime, she's dealing with school bullies, family drama, and still trying to cope with the fact that she now has these abilities and has no idea what to do with them.
So that's Last Ember. And you could see the crossover print. If you back up both Last Ember, my Kickstarter, and our friend Will crossover division, you get this beautiful print signed by all of us if you get it printed. And even digitally, we'll digitally sign it if you get all three.
Before you do that, can you scroll down to the pages real quick? I just want to show a little bit of the art.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm in love with this art, so I keep wanting to show it over and over again.
So nice. I love the colors.
Yeah, Federico Sabatini and Andrea Celestini, amazing. So
go back it up, guys, if you can, and also if you back it up. We have a little ticker tape, so you guys we'll put your name, so let us know if you back it up.
And we are very close. We're only $150-ish away from our next milestone bonus, which is a metal bookmark, so that's cool.
I don't know where your milestones are on the page, but just believe it.
Yeah,
it's on there.
It's fine. They're on there.
All right, I was just typing yours. Going into like father, like daughter. Here we go. And this is about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her, and then she inherits his abilities. So if you back this up for as low as $1, then you get 20 plus indie comics for free. And some of them are like Mysticon Kai, Banjax from Action Lab, Jupiter Jet from Action Lab. We have Spencer and Locke from Action Lab. So we have like Last Ember issue 0. We have a lot of great books here. So hopefully you guys can get it. And again, 20 plus books, and one's a trade, and we're getting closer. 300 backers will give you another trade. And then at 350 backers, we will give you Destiny New York, which is a very popular indie book on Kickstarter. Pat Chan runs that. And we got a really cool $10,000 goal as well. Hopefully that's the big goal that we're going to try making. We have 7 days to do it. Every dollar counts. Hopefully you guys could go support. We'll definitely remind you at the end. I only have a week left for my campaign, so you're running out of time. So if you guys want to go check it out, definitely do. All right. Mm-hmm.
And I'll add, since Will clarified this last night, if you got to back all three by the end of Cat's campaign, or you don't get that print, because then you won't be able to. So.
We also have James who backed it up, so I'm going to add him to the tape as we talk comics. So you're going to be in the ticker tape, James. James actually gave us the idea for signing the print, so thank you, James, for that one. There we go. Oh, and there's the coasters as well.
Yes, these are available on the campaign. Sets of 4. Very nice.
That's cool.
James likes being famous, he said. But yeah, that's the Kickstarter. So we're going to get into, I don't know if Mike answered this. Did you keep the free Stormbreaker sketchbook, Mike?
No. I think I got $50.
Well, at least you throw something out. I'm so proud of you.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I've gotten a couple of those ones. and I didn't mean to. So, all right. Are we ready for the comics?
I am.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. This is the big book talk. This was the big event that ended after 22 issues, 10 of Swords. We have Excalibur issue 15, X of Swords, Destruction, and then X-Men issue 15. So, how did you think this all ended? How did you guys think it wrapped up? I actually like the way it wrapped up.
Yeah, I was pleased with it.
You go, Brian. Sorry,
I'm on a slight delay, everybody. Apologize for that. But I enjoyed it. I thought these last 3 issues in particular were really strong. And the way that they kind of brought it to a close, it was a little unexpected. At the same time, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense with Apocalypse. But then it's like, what happens from here? I'm kind of curious to see where Apocalypse lands once this is all said and done, and where the Quiet Council is headed, how this is going to affect Krakoa. So yeah, it was it's fun, and it left a lot of new questions, brought up a lot of new questions. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. What'd you think, Pat?
I thought it was okay. I think I liked the middle a little bit more. Like, I liked the excitement of them going into battle. I also feel like a lot of characters I don't give a shit about had stuff happen to them. Like the Captain Britain Corp, get out of here. I don't need you. Apocalypse, honestly, I don't quite care that much about him. So I'm like, all right, whatever, that's happening to him, I guess. I know he's a big character in the X-Men, but there wasn't anyone like I personally loved that was too affected.
It's funny that our topic is Captain Britain Corp and none of us read Excalibur.
No. It was that was like a big moment, and even the artwork wasn't like the reason we didn't use it as the thumb, because the art was kind of okay for it, and it's like it didn't feel like a big moment. It was like, I guess if you've been reading Excalibur, this is crazy.
I mean, in the end, the whole series had to do with Saturnine, right? And it was just like her whole thing was, she wanted the Captain Britain Corps to come back, and then they wind up coming back, and they're all versions of Betsy. Like different versions of her. Obviously, the real one's not there, but it's all different versions of her. So she doesn't get like what she wants at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was cool. And then you get the Corps that's back again. Again, I'm not a huge Captain Britain fan. I don't know a ton about the Corps itself, but it was an okay moment. But I wasn't just like, oh my god, this was
exactly
cool. I was like, it's there. A lot of them got killed, I thought, in the battle.
I was geeking out more about all the X-Men in that splash. That was the cool moment for me.
I love that. But they didn't do anything with it. It's just like, you didn't really feel like there was a moment with all the X-Men. Like, there they are. True. Let's do nothing.
Right. I mean, overall, I liked the end. It felt like there was that slow build up. You obviously get like Jean and Cyclops going to the council saying, this is what I'm going to do. Why don't you guys come with me? And they were saying, well, we'll go with you. And then, Scott was like, no, you guys got to stay here and this and that. But I thought at first they were going to be like, oh, we're going to have Jean. We're going to have Scott. We're going to have Nightcrawler, Kitty Pryde, and like the main X-Men go into that battle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought. And then they're like, no, just kidding, just stay behind. I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks,
That would have been a great moment. But we always do them. I'm okay with that because I feel like this wasn't an event about them, and that's okay.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I like the build up to the end because it almost felt like Avengers in a way, because it was like bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like first you had Jubilee make her appearance, and then she brought her people with her, and then it was just like then the Captain Britain Corps winds up showing up, and then you wind up getting Cyclops showing up, then you get the X-Men showing up. Like it just kept on more and more people, and then the Sword Station wound up coming through, as that technically was the 10th sword that made its way through. And Ileana finally did something where she created the portal for them to come through it, so it just kept getting as a larger scale.
I love the captain stuff with Ileana and Cyclops. That's been a constant throughout this whole arc. That I enjoy that aspect of it. And then to use a wrestling term, I like the false finishes with the Apocalypse fight. Like he's she's got him beat, then oh no, he's got her beat, and then oh no, she's got him beat, and then oh no, it's like that kind of thing. And I like that back and forth and how you didn't really know how it was going to end. And then him taking on that burden. It was kind of cool.
What were you gonna say, Mike? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, he takes that Annihilation, the helmet, and he controls it, and he surrenders to Saturnine, and then he kind of beats her at her own game. Like, she's like, "Oh, you can take somebody with you to Krakoa. Name your person," and he's like, "Oh, I'll take all of Arakko," and she's like, "Oh, that was well played," because that's something that she would do, because she's been the manipulator of this tournament the entire time.
Yeah, I actually kind of wish they had like in the prelude kind of built her up a bit more, because I don't know if I really have a connection to her, even though she's like a badass, I guess. Like I wanted a little bit more of an emotional thread besides like, you took my boyfriend, or actually husband. I think they were married.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted a little bit more of an emotional pull of like why she's doing all this. We do have a comment that I want to put a spin to, and this is from Tevia. This event didn't need to be 22 parts. See, I actually like it was 22 parts. The thing I enjoyed, if I was reading this in a trade, I don't think I would like this story. But I like that every week kind of felt like an event. You had a couple of parts to read, and it was a good chunk. And I kind of like that. I like that there was a lot to read. So I surprisingly like that if it was 22 parts.
Yeah, it didn't bother me because it didn't feel that way, because it was like you said, it was a chunk. It's like you got 2 or 3 issues every week. And what would you do when you got those issues? You read them together, right?
Yeah, you read it back to back. And they had the checklist in the back to let you know which parts came first.
Right. And you got to read you got to read that story. And that's why it didn't bother me. So the way it was structured, it was fine. Now maybe the way it flowed wasn't necessarily perfect. But nevertheless, I thought it was an event that was good in my mind. Do I think it was great? No. Did I think it had its flaws? Absolutely. Was it what I exactly expected at first? No, it was not. I didn't expect.
No, I expected more swords.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody was expecting that. But then at the end of the day, is that what you would really want to see in the story? Is just people fighting with a sword? It'd get boring after a while, right? I mean, the scenes that they did show was kind of cool, and at times I would say, all right, I would like to see some more of it, but I wouldn't like to see every single character fight another character. It would be too repetitious. So that's why I liked seeing what she did in that tournament. Now, people may not agree with the whole wedding situation or an arm wrestling competition, but it is what it is at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean that plays into Saturnine's personality though too. She was just screwing with them all, but I did appreciate that they ended it with the sword fight. So I mean, you got that at least. So yeah, and like you guys I enjoyed reading the 2 or 3 parts a week, and that was actually the first books I would read. I'd be just like, okay, I'm going to read the Exosword stuff and then move on to the rest of the stuff. So I enjoyed it overall.
Always on the top of my pile. It's like, I'm interested to see what happens next because something exciting can happen. But B was just like kind of nice to read like a big chunk in the beginning, so you don't want to be fatigued. At least, again, for me, I read all my books at once, so it's just like, all right, let me read this at top, because after I read 9 books, I might not be as interested in Exoswords.
Exactly. All right, cool. So if you graded this event, what would be the grade that you would give it at?
Out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it 3.
What about you, Brant?
Oh, did he pause?
I think he's kind of pausing, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hear his background, right?
Yeah, I think he's paused right now. Yeah. All right. Well, if for me, I would say 3.5 stars, almost
Okay.
4, 3.5, almost 4, because I want to say that I enjoyed more than I did not enjoy. So, there was middle parts in that story that I didn't like, but the beginning of it I liked, and the end of it I liked. So it was probably like those, I don't know, that like issue 12, 13, or 14 or something like that didn't work for me. But nevertheless, it was an okay story.
Yeah. Again, don't know if I could say it's worth reading in trade though, because I really liked that. I was reading it during that time period.
Right. So, all right. Well, there was our talk there when it comes to the Ten of Swords and all those other books, and Brant's back.
What's your rating? Sort of. Oh, I hear him a little bit. It was very low.
Now he's the low one.
Yeah. But you're moving.
Yeah, you're moving.
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit. Well, as we see if Brent comes back on, we are. You're saying something. We hear you. We hear you a little.
Yeah, there you go. Do the private chat.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little louder.
We hear you, but it's very low.
Yeah.
Now your camera's off. He doesn't hear us, but we hear all his frustrations.
That's weird. Is that better?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Can you hear us?
I do hear you.
Okay.
Oh.
We can hear you.
No, I hear you.
But can you?
Yes.
We hear you too.
It's just a long delay.
Oh. Well, we still hear you.
Okay.
And your camera is off.
3.5.
3.5, Mike.
3.5. Yep. He's right around where I'm at. Yep.
Yes, I turned it off to see if that would help.
Oh, it didn't. But we know it's a 3.5, which is great. Brant is so excited for his new enter. Oh, and he disappeared.
Yeah.
We have some comments. Sean B. I have a lot of respect for Hickman and that team over there. I think they've done a great job making X-Men relevant. JDAFA3 says, I'm looking forward to King in Black tomorrow. We will definitely have a big King in Black discussion next week. Am I looking forward to it? No. Am I buying issue 1? For Mike? Yes. Buying issue 1.
Yes. She has to. You cannot be a comic book reader and not buy the first issue of King in Black.
If there was 25 books coming out, I wouldn't buy it. But since I'm getting 8 books, I'm buying it. I don't know, man. I hope I like it. I've heard not good things about Batman and Catwoman, so I'm not very excited for that. Oh, Brant's moving.
That took a left turn right there. Like, how did King in Black and Batman and Catwoman?
Because they're both because they're both the new issue 1s for tomorrow.
Yeah, but Batman and Catwoman is not. It's not an event. Batman and Catwoman's the same shit we've been getting since
That's true.
5 years.
But we've been waiting for a year for it. King in Black, we actually been waiting less. Honestly, probably the comparison's Endless Winter and King in Black, but I also think King in Black is more because Endless Winter is gonna probably be a fill arc.
Yeah, Endless Winter is a filler story with the Frost King or whatever it is. Brant, are you there?
I don't know. Am I?
You are.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Okay.
We're talking about the new issue 1s.
Yeah, we stalled time, so you come back. We got your grade for Ten of Swords, so it was a 3.5.
Yeah.
You and I agree. We are on the same score there.
Then
So,
you've
all right.
grown, so who knows?
Yeah.
So while we
That's
have
cool.
Brant back on camera, we're going to get going with the other big books. Next book we're going to be talking about is Department of Truth. I know Kat didn't like it because she had it already on her chopping block. So,
I have thoughts.
okay, well, give me your thoughts. What did you think about this book?
Department of Truth for me, I like the book, but I don't like it enough to continue. Like I could read it and say, "Ooh, this is a good story," but there's nothing like character-wise is like I need to get this next issue because I don't think any of the characters are really that interesting. I think the plot's interesting, but not interesting enough for me to get that next issue. And I gave it like 3 issues, so I give it enough. Also, the artwork is a little distracting.
I totally get what you're saying. I mean, the artwork, I understand why the artwork it is, because it's always like this foggy dream feeling, don't know what to believe type of art. You know, it's this hazy, it's weird, right? But it goes with the story because it's all about conspiracy. What do you believe? What don't you believe? And I thought this story was actually really interesting because it had to deal with a mother losing her child to a gun shooting in a school, or did she actually lose her son? And so it was like, it's like she's led to believe that maybe her son is alive when the son actually died. So it was all this crazy talk about it going on. And as the reader, I started getting confused. I'm like, shit, is her son alive or not? And then you wind up getting the Department of Truth people coming in and trying to cover everything up. They're almost like the Men in Black, and they actually make a Men in Black reference in this particular issue. They're like, yeah, we can't make people forget we're not the Men in Black, but they wear black suits and they do all this stuff, which I think is kind of interesting. It's definitely a different book, but I did like this issue because it kind of hits home a little bit, because of all these school shootings that we've had. And, me being a parent, how would that affect you if that happened to your kid, and you get to see this pain that this woman was experiencing. So this particular story, I really enjoyed.
I'm curious if she's the X lady. I was curious if she's the one that we've been seeing with the X's on her eyes. That was interesting.
I don't think so. I think in the last issue where you wind up seeing Cole, which is the main character, where he was talking about kids getting abducted and these people, these teachers or whatever there was, eating babies and stuff like that. Like, the lady in the dress represents the devil. So that's who she supposedly is. So really weird book, man. But it's I give Tinian the credit being definitely thinking outside of the box on this one too, So I'm gonna continue it longer and see where this story actually goes.
Let me know how it goes.
I will.
If it picks up.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take it on to our number 5, and we'll start with Brant. What's your number 5?
It's either a huge delay or he's like, I'm not telling you.
He's frozen. All right, Kat, what's your number 5?
Issue.
Mine was the
number.
Yeah. I wonder what his number 5 was. I couldn't make any of it out. He's laughing at things.
I think
he's laughing. He's having a good time. He's probably now groaning. He's like, oh no. All right. Well, my issue 5 was Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Something Wicked. Mm-hmm. Issue 4. I've been having a fun time with this. I think this book has been written a long time ago because it's supposed to come out before COVID. But, it's everything you want in a Sabrina book. I think it matches what you liked from Chilling Adventures and what you like from the slice of life aspect of the book. And it continues to be a good read. So that's my number 5.
All right, cool. Let me see what my number 5 is. Mine was actually Harley Quinn, the Batman White Knight Harley Quinn issue 2 book. I thought that one was pretty cool. I liked how we got to see what I liked about it was the history of Jack Napier and Harley on like how her and their relationship was with each other, how he kind of went down the rabbit hole, and she actually published a book about this disease to help him fight this disorder. And she blames herself why he became the Joker because he got so angry that she published uh, this um, this book about him, even though it never said his name, and she was just trying to help him. And that's why he kind of like went off the deep end. You also get to see her go against like the Neo Joker in this issue as well. There were some good moments in this book, especially with the hyenas. I thought that was kind of cool how they got introduced.
Their little origin story.
Yeah, it was cool. And the kid's name is what were the kids' name? They were named after Batman, like after Bruce and Joker, but it was like Napier. I don't remember, but they were named after those two, which I thought was really cool. I thought the book was awesome. I really am enjoying this book. I didn't know how I would take it. I mean, I don't think it's as solid as like a Batman when Batman is in it, but I think this is. Yeah. I think she's. Harley's holding her own in this particular book.
It's a good filler. It's a good way to expand the world. Overall, very solid issue. I've been having a good time. I agree. It hasn't wowed me as much as White Knight did or Curse of the White Knight, but it is a fun read, and I've been enjoying it. We did find out what Brandt's number 5 was. It was Chew issue 5. So, yeah, I really enjoyed Chew. I did not see that time skip happening, so that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's 3 years into the future. I didn't think he was actually going to go through and throw her in jail, and then 3 years passes and she comes out, and then it's like, oh, but I've been studying this person and that person and this person, and I've eaten everything that they've eaten for the past 3 years, 3 square meals a day, and she's like. And you got to sit there and go, oh my God, she's probably like the most dangerous person on earth now because she knows how to do all these bad things. And she skips down with her freaking loser ass boyfriend. This book is so good. I love this book.
Yeah, I don't think enough people are talking about it by any means. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but I think every issue surprises you and does something very different.
Yeah, no, I absolutely did. But this is how I felt with the original Chew series. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's same writer, and I loved it. It's just something different, and the artwork is really gorgeous, and the colors are beautiful here. I mean, it really makes it pop and makes it come to life. And yeah, I can't say enough about this series. I think it's awesome.
Oh, and here's Brandt on his phone. I think it's a lot better.
Well, can you hear me though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I know it doesn't take any microphones when you use your phone though.
Right.
So
but we hear you fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
I mean, now we're seeing your light, but we're still hearing you fine. So Chew issue 5, Brandt. We heard that was your number 5. You met? Oh no!
He's flipping.
Oh, okay. You had something good going on, Brandt. Brandt's a little camera shy.
Oh, and now he can't talk. Now he shut off his. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we're hearing you. We're seeing you.
Go. You're perfect, just like that.
Yeah, you keep playing director though. I think. You should give up on that job.
I'm trying to put it in my stand thing so I don't have to hold the phone the whole time.
You don't have a book? Cup?
Something to lean it against?
I've got an arm that holds the camera. Just give me a second.
That seems too professional.
Well, I try sometimes.
There. We do. Yeah, it looks good.
Perfect.
All right. Cool.
You got to do this every week.
This is things not to do during a live show.
Right? Yes.
Do not have internet problems.
Yeah.
Have a place to hold your phone. Like, it's just, we always seem to have these issues though in our shows, right? If it's not one person, it's the other.
It is.
Except Pat, right? She always seems to have everything perfect all the time.
Yeah, my internet's pretty good, so no complaints.
I have fiber. I'm just in the farthest place in the stupid house away from it.
Gotta go Verizon Fios.
Yeah.
Well, or a booster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna make it happen.
You said your number 5 was Chew. So
yeah.
Give us your thoughts on Chew, because Kat and I talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice way to wrap it up, and I like you guys. I did hear a little bit of what you guys were saying, so I like I didn't expect the time jump either, but I like that, and you know how that character is going to play into the entire world now as we go forward. And I never read Chew, but this series has gotten me, hyped to do that, so I'll probably seek that out at some point. But yeah, and the fact that she learned all these abilities, and it's like, dude, this is all your fault, Tony. You did this, so now you got to deal with the repercussions. And there was all kinds of Easter eggs tossed throughout this entire book, which at first I didn't catch, and I was reading up on the series, and people were talking about it. I was like, oh, I got to go look back, and there's nods to Tremors and Sonic, and
dude, they do this. They do that all the time. That's what that whole series is about. It's like you would be reading, and all you see in the background on the walls is all these different pictures and little things, little notes, and all this Easter egg stuff. It's such an awesome series. I definitely recommend it if you guys get time to go back and read the original series. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely plan to. Some of my friends had raved about it when it was coming out, and I just never jumped on the bandwagon for some reason. But now I'm going to.
There you go. You gotta tell me how it is. I have every single issue. I started it from issue 1, and issue 1 came out right when I started getting back into comic books. And I'm like, what the hell is Chew? So I just picked it up one day and I read it. I'm like, wow, this is really interesting, and it was a home run for me, and I have every single issue. That first issue though is worth some coin. It's like, if you get a 9.8 grade, it's worth a few $100.
Yeah, that's crazy. 15 years before issue. Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know the timeline because I don't read the original Chew. But yeah, I feel like Chew came out around a time where indie books were becoming more popular in the mainstream, I would say, at least for
it
collectors.
Came out right around when Walking Dead started getting its popularity.
Yeah.
Right.
So great stuff. Good book. That's a really cool number 5 to have there. So we all gave our number 5, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go on to Kat's book that she's been waiting for millennia. And that's Power Pack issue 1. What did you think?
I really liked it. I will say, as a Power Pack fan, I thought they did a really good job at trying to keep continuity, because Julie and Alex in particular have been in other books in the past couple of years. So Alex was in Future Foundation / Fantastic Four, and then Julie was in Loners, Avengers Academy, Runaways, and Future Foundation. So she's been in a lot of books. And also, in all those books, they should be older than 18 for both Julie and Alex. So I think they did a kind of good job at pretending that they're not 18, but still keeping everything that they did. So I enjoyed that. I like the family being back together. The end of the issue, we get to see them under arrest. They're probably going to tell their parents. So I think they built up some good drama in this one. Only negative, didn't quite love the artwork. I thought that could have been stronger, but the cartooniness worked for the book. So I loved it. I thought it was great.
I actually like the art. That was
Did you?
that was one of the highlights for me. I thought the first like third of the book was a little boring. It was just it took a while to get into it, but once I got into it, I enjoyed it. And I like the way they came together, and I like Katie, her character. You know, she's kind of narrating through her little comic and everything, and you know, she was kind of the one that got them back out in the field. And you know, there was some really comical moments in it. The one nitpick I did have was that it seemed to me like in Fantastic Four when they came back that the parents were there waiting on them and knew. Yeah, it's like, why do they all of a sudden not know that they have
I guess
powers?
just for the sake of this story, because I agree, because they actually like went to space, so that's like hard. And then there's other comics, like, because they're going off of like the original Power Pack, because there's been a lot of iterations of Power Pack. So from what you could tell, they're going from the original series and continuing from there. Yeah. The parents knew in that book. So it's just like they found out in like issue 30 or whatever. So I don't understand, besides like they needed the drama and Katie to have this opener. I agree. Continuity is really confusing for the Power Pack.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also tying into current events. So it doesn't, there's a lot of things that don't add up. So that's, you know, a little nitpicky stuff there. But I thought there were really good character moments with Julie and Katie especially. So.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Jack had as much to do. I'm sure he'll have his own issue. Alex had a little bit to do, but it's definitely a Katie, Julie centric. And I think next issue it is Alex narrated, then Julie, and then I guess Jack. But yeah, I love this book. I think it sold well too. From what I saw, it looked like it was a popular issue one. So hopefully we get more.
I didn't read it.
You should have read it, Mike.
No, not read enough. This is the one I had skipped.
It was fun.
It was fun, but I also will say, like, it probably wouldn't sell you on the Power Pack. Like, I don't think this is the issue. Like, oh my God, you never read the Power Pack, read this.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Yeah, I think you'd get 5 pages in and be like, "What the heck am I reading?"
It'd be like.
Yeah, I don't think you would have liked it. I think it was very, very geared to people who already liked the Power Pack. Not to say that they didn't explain it, because they did take those first 5 pages to be like, this is who we are. But I just feel like it was very heavy on, even when they did explain that, all the current events. It was very heavy if you knew these characters before.
Yeah, and it's funny that you did that little motion, Mike, because that's exactly what I did. And then I decided after I read all my other books,
you suck, Grant.
Okay, I'll go back and try the rest of it.
Yeah, you're like, I have time to finish it now. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad I'll have someone to talk about Power Pack with.
See, that's like what I did with Champions like last week almost.
Oh, yeah.
Like I basically I had the book like this far close. I'm like, you know what? Let's just finish it and see how it goes, because I might regret it later on. And I like the end of the issue, so that was that. All right, that's good. I'm glad you guys like Power Pack. So let's talk about the second issue of Scumbag. What did you get? I know Brant doesn't read this. This is like basically against all his beliefs, and I don't blame him here. This is a pretty bad comic book, but what did you think about this second issue, Kat?
I liked it. I think the first issue was a little better, but I like the two worlds colliding. So you have this like secret agent girl who just wants to save the world and who has to team up with the scumbag. And they could not be any different. And I love that. I do think there's a lot of exposition in other parts. Like, I enjoyed their scenes, but when it was not about them, I got a little bored. But I liked it. I really liked this book.
This wasn't in my top 5 this week. It was right on the outside, because there was a lot of books that I liked besides this. And my only issue with it is how long it's going to get old for me, this guy talking about drugs all the time. You understand? Like, dude, I want my weed. Oh, I want this thing of cocaine. I want them sweet drugs. Like, I want my demands. You know, like, to me, that gets old after a while. You know what I'm saying? And
I hope he grows quicker.
Right. I want him to grow as a character, and I want him to see him use his abilities. Like, I don't want him to be seeing this this druggie, and then him being like this scared person and whatnot. And the end got me a little bit too. Like you get this soldier who's like, you know, has his gun in his face, and he's just like shows him the patch of the Scorpions from the band, and this guy is like, "Oh, you're legit. You're part of us." It's like,
I
dude,
thought that was funny.
but I was like, are you that dumb? Like, it doesn't even say their right names. They're not named the Scorpions. They're group the soldiers. They're named like Scorpionus or something like that. And so, like, how does the guy get it confused? That was the one little loophole that I didn't like. But I mean, the overall issue, I had fun. I was fine. It was like I liked it. Like I enjoyed it. It's just knowing me, I just know that Scumbag himself is going to get old for me. It's just like it reminds me of like Deadpool, Harley Quinn, like in that aspect of the character, right? And so hopefully he does become something better in the future.
Yeah, I'm interested to see hopefully how he grows. We do have a question more for Mike and Brant. I did buy the issue, but I didn't read it. What did you guys think of Last Ronin? When does issue 2 come out? I don't know. I think maybe it's delayed because of all that craziness that happened with the printing run. But what did you guys think? Because I don't think we were on that week when it came out.
Oh yeah, I don't think we did.
I don't think we were.
I loved it. I thought it was a great book. I mean, I still don't want to spoil it in case people never did, but the turtle that we wanted, was the person, right? So, but I thought it reminded me of old school comics. It reminded me of how Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles used to be. It almost reminded me of a video game where he's just like climbing up a tower and he's trying to fight the bad guys, and the bad guys get stronger as he goes until he gets to Shredder's grandfather. The art was beautiful. It was great. It kind of reminds me of Old Man Logan in a way. That's kind of like what it reminded me of, because that's the world that it takes place in a way. So I loved it, and I can't wait for issue 2.
Yeah, same, for all those reasons that you mentioned. And I love the way that they did it, where the turtle, he's basically got all the voices of his brothers kind of talking to him all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So he's kind of, that's his coping mechanism. And I just thought that was handled beautifully. And like you said, that video game aspect of it, where, you know, he's going to the next level and so on and so forth. It was solid, and I loved who it ended up being. It was just, that was the perfect way to do it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our thoughts. If you can still get a copy, go ahead and get your copy. But the prices of it, I know, are a little bit higher now than what originally came out to be, because of the lower print run. I think my shop actually has a copy itself, but I think it's selling for like $30 now. So, because like the last one on the shelf. So yeah, but great story. Definitely recommend it. All right. So we talked about our Scumbag. So let's go on to number 4. My number 4 is a book we already talked about. Was Department of Truth issue 3. I really enjoyed that book. It was an interesting story. Brant, what was yours?
Suicide Squad, number 11.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, it was good. It got a little slow towards the end for me, with, you know, them trying to, you know, round up all the heinous people and trying to, you know, put them in their place and all that stuff. But the lead up to that was interesting. What they ended up doing with Jog, I didn't see coming. So that was,
I did not see that at all.
I did not care about him. I was like, oh, why do we have him in the opener?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what are you going to do with that? I assume, like, if we do eventually get a Revolutionary series, they'll explore that a little bit more. But it's just like so out of nowhere.
You know what's so weird about that is, like, why would you make a title after you have Suicide Squad into Revolutionaries? Don't you think it would, like, sell worse? Because it's like Suicide Squad's a title that sells. I'm curious if it'll, like, become a digital book or not.
It's weird because supposedly now, that's why I was interested to see what Future State has with Suicide Squad, because basically after this issue, the Suicide Squad doesn't exist anymore. There is no such thing.
Right. No Task Force X, nothing.
No,
And
yeah.
Future State is probably just going to ignore it, and they'll just
Well, probably, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll see. Maybe it's like, you know, Amanda Waller's great grandson is running it. Who knows? I don't know how far in the future it's going, but
I don't think it's that far, but
yeah, I know. There were some cool moments in this. I love, you know, Harley talking to Deadshot's daughter and
good.
being like, you know, I'm not gonna leave. You know, I'm a you know, therapist. I'm gonna stay with you and work through this, and that was cool. And
that's some free
you know,
therapy right there. So
yeah.
Good for you.
Green Arrow, like just the, you know, what are you doing? Shoot him in the legs, you know, that
it's
kind
like,
of stuff.
put that gun down. Boom.
Yeah,
Boom.
and then boom. Yeah, it's some fun stuff. Yeah, some fun stuff. It was a cool way to end it, but like there feels like there could be more stories to tell there.
It definitely felt like it ended a little abruptly, which was like for sure. I'm just like,
it did. I mean, Tom Taylor, he could say all he wants in that tweet where he was like, "Oh yeah, there was a definite." No, there's more to that story. You just don't resurrect Jog out of nowhere. Like that just seemed forced, right?
And make another team. You're making a whole new team.
It's just like, oh wait, and all of a sudden we're the revolutionaries, and we're gonna come save the day in a future book.
I got it. What they're going to do is it's going to be called Suicide Squad Revolutionaries.
I could see that because they got to sell the book somehow.
Oh yeah.
Right. I will say I wanted more Deadshot. Like I know he's dead, but I wanted like more of the ramifications of Deadshot. I'm like, like I like that scene a lot, but that could have been a whole issue.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I agree.
Or it could be straight from the pages of Suicide Squad. Featuring the revolutionaries.
What a long title! Could they even fit that on the cover?
We've seen worse though.
That's true.
We only find them when they're dead.
that is the one I was thinking of. The one that literally fills up the whole cover every day.
Or like Tales of the Dark Multiverse, and then 2 other titles after it. You know?
Dark Knight's Death Metal, Tales of the Multiverse. Yeah. It's crazy.
Supposedly they do it on purpose now. I read like someone tweeted about this, but they want the SEO, which is like the search engine for the internet, to do well when you're searching these titles, which is why you make it longer. It's like, man.
It just
does it
makes
help?
me think of that old movie, like Don't Drink Your Juice While Walking in Compton or something. That old, I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's like a really long title to a movie.
I don't, but it's just weird from a marketing standpoint because I don't honestly, all these long titles, I never remember what they actually are all called. I'm like, Tales of Dark Multiverse, I guess.
You just end up shortening them like 2 guys, a girl in the pizza parlor. It's just 2 guys, right? You just end up shortening it.
Yeah,
that girl is completely cut out.
Or abbreviated.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kat, what was yours? What was your number 4?
Mine was Harley Quinn. So I already talked about it.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we talked about Batman the White Knights, presents Harley Quinn issue 2. And so now we're going to be talking about, probably the worst. Oh my God. The Amazing Spider-Man issue 53 LR.
I don't like this
What's LR
book.
stand for?
I don't even know. Last Remains? Yeah.
Last Remains, yeah.
Okay.
So we basically get Moreland to come back so the Sin Eater kills him? Is that what I got out of that?
This whole book kind of felt like 2 different stories. You have this like that. I'm like, what is happening there? Why is this happening? And then you have the second story, which is this fever dream of them in Spider-Man's head? Question mark?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Because that's where Peter went, right? He took the hand of Ashanti and went into his own dream. So they're
Do we really need this? Do we need this chapter at all?
Maybe not.
I don't even remember what else happened. Like, what else happened?
That was it. They were battling like demonic Mary Jane and
that's right,
giant Kingpin.
Yeah, I remember that.
Kingpin and all that stuff.
It was
so boring. You're saying?
So not necessary. It's not necessary. It's see, you talk about like a lot of people were complaining about like Ten of Swords, right? these are not necessary. This story is way, way too drawn out. Too drawn out. We don't need Last Remains. It's not necessary. At least the tie-in issues. The main story, I get it, right? But this is not necessary at all.
Yeah, at this point, nothing's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the art was okay, especially in the Moreland part. I thought
The Moreland
really
one was stronger, but it's just like
Yeah.
the story was so weak.
it was, but I don't know where that's headed. Like, did he take Moreland's sins away? Is Moreland dead? That made me curious.
But
At least
do
about
I
that.
care? Well, Brant does, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I just
really
I
You
don't
care
like
that much about
Moreland.
Moreland to really care. Like, have you not seen him enough in the past?
Oh yeah, no. I was upset when he was coming back. Yeah, I was like, "What? Really? We're going there again?" But
Right.
at the same time, it still made me curious. What just happened? Did he take his sins? Is he dead? What? I just want to know that.
Right.
Then I'm cool after that.
I think I'm more curious about why is Sin Eater still in this book? Like, what is?
I don't think you're
what
going to get
is-
that answer.
What is his purpose in this book besides what he already did?
I thought he was going to be a villain that we had for an issue. It's 2 issues. It's been like 10 issues.
Yeah, thank you, Level 87 Code. Don't be a menace to South Central by drinking your juice in the hood. That was the title of that movie. Yeah,
that is some title. That is a very long title.
And
I
just
never
called it Don't
never
Be a
heard
Menace.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh well, then why didn't they just call that the movie? 1996.
Yeah,
man,
it was the 90s.
And it's a Wayans. Yeah, Wayans.
Yeah, it was the
Wayans
Wayans,
brothers. Yeah, there we go. They're like, we're gonna make it a very, very big title, and then we're gonna make Big Mama's House.
So yeah, Spider-Man.
That was Martin Lawrence.
Big Mama's House wasn't the Wayans brother? Ah, oh wow.
Martin Lawrence.
What was the Wayans brothers popular for? Oh, the scary movies.
Yeah, scary movies, and they did a bunch of different sitcoms and.
Oh yeah, they did My Wife and Kids.
Stuff. They did a lot of spoof stuff.
They did a lot of sitcoms. I did not realize. Anyways, we actually became a Wayans Brothers podcast.
Yeah, right. Bavarian says she's skipping all the LR issues.
You're not missing anything.
Why?
Yeah. But Sin Eater needs to go. And we need to figure out what's going on with Peter and Norman or Harry, whoever it is. And let's move on with this whole ordeal. Let's get this done.
I agree.
All right. So we talked about that great book. Let's move on to our number 3. And my number 3 this week was what we already talked about, which was Chew issue 5.
Mine was Chew as well.
Was it really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
My number 3 was Power Pack.
Okay.
All right. I'll accept.
She's like, oh, I'll accept that. She'll make it her number. Kat will make it her number 1.
Maybe.
She'll make it her number 1 just so people would buy it. She'll get people hyped to buy it. Like, you guys need to buy Power Pack so it can continue on. I know that's how she operates.
Only Power showed up in the book. It's already number 1. She just needs to show up.
All right. So we did our number 3s, right? So we talked about Suicide Squad. Let's talk about our number 2 then. So number 2 for me was what we already talked about, which is the Ten of Swords Destruction issue 22.
Mine too.
Was it really?
Yeah,
wow.
It was.
That's the chances of that happening are pretty slim. I didn't think, but I really enjoyed it. I really, really did. I thought the ending was phenomenal. I really had a great time reading it.
Yeah, I agree. I did too.
Mine was Scumbag, so it wasn't X of Swords, but I enjoyed Scumbag a lot.
Right. So now Kat decided to put this on the dock. We're going to talk about Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Wonder Woman.
There was like no DC books, and I know you guys read it. I dropped it with this issue. I'm like, I'm done. Peace out.
But you got to read the next. I was going to drop it too, but the next one has Deathstroke in it.
I'm gonna read the next one. I hated this arc. I'm like, I'll read the next arc.
So this one had a very predictable ending, right? It was the battle between Wonder Woman and Maxwell Lord. And who do you think won?
I forgot I even read that. Wait a minute. I didn't read that. That's why.
I
didn't even read it. Wow.
So you're going to really tell us who won, Mike, because neither of us read it.
Wow.
Was it a good issue?
No.
So we missed
No.
Well, it's very cliche, and it's very like you've seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So it all I can say is the cliffhanger kind of leaves you going, really? You know? But let's just say like Wonder Woman beats Maxwell Lord. That's basically what it is. That's all. There's a bunch of fighting, bunch of action, and it was probably it was like a 5-minute read.
Honestly, yeah, Wonder Woman's a very, very quick read. And it's just such a shame because I really liked that first arc. The second arc really didn't like, obviously dropped it at this point. I'm gonna read, I guess, the Deathstroke issue, but I don't even know if that comes out now because you have Future State. So I think the next thing is Future State.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure myself, but it said next issue that's coming out, so I don't know.
Let me see. Wonder Woman issue 768. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. December 9th. It does come out.
Okay.
Interesting. I don't know if I want it.
Come on. It's got Deathstroke. When was the last time you saw Deathstroke besides Batman?
We'll see.
Batman, right?
Yeah, Batman was the last time. It wasn't that long ago, though.
Yeah, it's long enough.
You need your Deathstroke.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we talked about Wonder Woman. Now we'll talk about our number ones. And my number one this week was Maestro issue 4. I really had a lot of fun with that book. This book was like, you want to talk about a cool action book, this one was it. So you always kind of wondered like how Hulk became Maestro, right? So he has to battle Hercules. And let's just say in the book, Hercules like kicks his butt. And Brant, did you read this?
No.
Have you been reading it or no?
No.
Oh, okay. It's been good. So he battles Hercules, and Hercules kicks his butt. And he just sits there and he says, why don't you join me? You know, he surrendered to him. He goes, join me and whatnot. And we can, you know, live in peace and whatnot. And Banner is like, no, I'll come back later when I feel like I'm ready, that I deserve your respect. So after they did this fight and some time passes, Banner comes back and he goes to Hercules and he goes, oh, I'm ready to be your friend and hang out here and this and that. And he brings a female with him. And the female, you know, Hercules is all into the females or whatnot. And it winds up, they go into this private room and the female winds up being Vapor and from the UFOs. And she winds up killing Hercules. And then you wind up seeing, what's his name? Hulk, like betrays her. And he winds up, I guess, taking the throne of Hercules. And that's how he becomes Maestro. It's a really, really interesting issue. Great battles, very smart on Banner's end, and same thing. You talk about Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there because Rick Jones is in it, and he's all like an old man in here and whatnot. And since they're in this apocalyptic world, he has all these relics from the old heroes that have fallen. Like he wears Ben Reilly's Spider-Man costume. And he's also in Professor X, like hover chair from the 90s. So, because he has no use of his legs and whatnot. And again, he's got all these other artifacts of all these past heroes. So it's a really fun issue, really fun series. there's one more issue left, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. Some good stuff.
I'm glad you've been enjoying it. I feel like it's a mini series that kind of went under the radar for a lot of people. I didn't pick it up, but I haven't heard too many people talking about it either.
Yeah, and this one's written by Peter David, so obviously is the person who wrote all this Hulk stuff in the past. So it's great little story. All right, so Kat, what's your number one? Oh, it's Power Pack.
Well, I know Brand's was Power Pack, so no, yeah, it's Power Pack. Love it, loved it. Good stuff.
All right, Brant.
Mine's gonna be surprising. It's Excalibur.
Really?
I actually like that issue the best of the three, just because of what happened. The Captain Britain Corp aside, Jubilee entered the fray and got reunited with her, with Shogo and
Dragon.
And there was like the stuff where she's putting together Betsy and then realizes that she still can't get Brian. So I mean, there was a lot of cool moments in the issue that I liked, and some of the fighting that took place in that issue too was just visually cool. So
yeah, I actually thought there was more action in the Excalibur one because it was a little bit more about the battle. I did like that visual of the puzzle. That was cool.
I liked all three of those books. That one was my, I guess, least favorite, I guess, if you want to say. I did like
X-Men was my least of the three.
That was my favorite.
I like the X-Men because I loved all of the setup before the war actually happens. I like
seeing Cyclops. I enjoyed seeing like characters that I care about talking about X of Swords.
I mean, that was my number 6. So I mean, it's
right.
Not like it.
No, it's good. Yeah. So that's cool. I'm glad you liked it, though, and I'm glad you liked those final issues too, just like I did. So
yeah. The question is, after reading all this, are you guys going to pick up extra X-Men books you never have? Because I'm not. I'm just going to pick up X-Men Marauders.
I am.
Oh, and New Mutants. I am getting New Mutants.
I mean, yeah, it depends. New Mutants is getting a new creative team, right? So
yeah, it's a new writer. So I'm like, I'm gonna try that out.
Yeah, so I'll try that out. Excalibur is the only one that I'm like, still.
I am probably going to jump on board all of them again, except X Factor.
Okay, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, X Factor it
was disconnected, anyways.
Yeah, well, they do all the private investigation of like the resurrections.
Yeah,
and so I didn't like that. Hillians is actually pretty good. I jumped back on board on that. So I'm going to jump back on board Excalibur just to see where it goes. Because if I've been reading them now through this event, why not continue to read through them and see what happens?
Yeah, with Hellions, I kind of want to see what happens after he basically killed his whole team.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a Hellions book after? Who knows? You won't get a next issue.
That issue comes out, I think, next week, actually. The Hellions issue.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is it on our
list? I'm
list?
most excited to try New Mutants. I'm really excited because we didn't quite like that first arc. So I want a new voice. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I'm trying New Mutants again too, just like you guys, just because of the new creative team.
Now I don't know when that's coming out, but it should be probably this month. I think. I don't know when they're wrapping up that arc, but I would think it's after X of Swords. I don't remember what issue they're up to. Is like issue 15? Are we that high already? No.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Issue 10?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. We're at 15 and everything else.
Yeah, I actually think we might be up to issue. I'm looking up. Oh, new chapter begins with issue 14. So I could get a date. Hold on. This is with Vita Ayala. December 16th. We have to wait until the next one. So that's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so it is coming out this month. Honestly, I kind of just forgot it was December. I'm like, wait, that feels like such a long time for that. Wait, it is actually December. Time has passed.
right, so we're all done talking about the comics, at least the top five anyway. We're gonna go on, moving on to the chopping block. So, Kat, you were talking about earlier that I think it's a good story, but it's just not for you. So, Department of Truth is the book that you're looking at.
That is the chop. Your mic's a little. It's doing the thing it usually does, at least.
Yeah,
so.
you're in a can.
Yeah. A can is a good way to explain it. Yeah, Department of Truth is the one I'm dropping this week. So it's weird because I feel like my pull's getting so small lately.
Yeah. I'm curious who put Red Hood down. Was that must have been
I think it was Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
Can
good.
you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Next, this is Brant's Snake Eyes Dead Game.
I gave this the old college try, as they used to say.
You really
at some
did.
point in time. I did 3 issues. I gave this, and I just can't take it anymore. There's only 2 left, but I can't do it. I just can't. I'm done. It's okay. So the same thing, Mike, because I know you read this all the way through. I think the same thing that turned me off on Major X was what turned me off here. And it was they're in this battle, Snake Eyes and this guy, and then all of a sudden, okay, Storm Shadow shows up. All right, that makes sense. That's fine. But then all of a sudden, some dude named Bullet Man just pops in there and is just like beating the crap out of this villain. Is like, you can't beat me. And then it's like all the G.I. Joe show up, and then all these other people that I've never seen show up, and it's like all these 20 people just out of nowhere in this remote mountain somewhere that Snake Eyes is, taking on this quest, and they're just like, okay, we're here to help Snake Eyes, even though he didn't call us and we didn't know where he was, but we're here now. No, I can't. I'm done.
Oh no! And Liefeld still does this book.
Yes, he's still
making
doing
his
the story
money.
and the art. Yeah.
Man, you speak about Major X. Like, what happened to Major X?
Yeah,
right.
It sold well though somehow. He has
it
fan
did
base.
because of the hype of Liefeld and being back at Marvel and doing
why
all
there
that.
was hype.
But now it's done. Like, it's just nothing now. It died completely.
Yeah, no one's talking about that.
That's funny though. Snake Eyes Dead Game. That's typical. That sounds like a typical Liefeld book, right? It's just, oh, that's funny. It's just like, hey, everybody, let's just show up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense.
If I ever wanted to direct a movie, I had to hire someone. It wouldn't be Brant.
Hey guys. Hey guys, how am I? Okay? Am I good? Am I good? I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
It started falling. I had to fix it.
Hey guys, am I okay here?
That looks artsy.
That's like 60s Batman right there, Mike.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the rest of the show like that.
There you go. All right. The next book on the chopping block. This one's on me. I don't think I'm going to give it another. I think this is a hard pass now. Red Hood issue 51 came out. This is a new creative team.
Only for the 2 issues. It's only a 2-issue arc. It's only 2 issues they're on this book for.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then who takes over after that?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I might not read this next issue because this is crazy. So you get Jason Todd coming back. He's living in his old place called The Hills. And he has this girl that's been watching this place. And this place has been all built up. And it's, after the Joker Wars happened, there's been little crime. But there's this like street level gang that's there that this one guy creates like sneakers and apparel based off of villains. Like there's Killer Croc sneakers and Poison Ivy's stuff, and I'm just like, and they're like selling all this crazy stuff, and then what happens is this one character frees Killer Croc to work with him to take out another street level guy. This book was just bad. This was really, really bad. And there's this bunch of characters that are like a neighborhood watch team that wear these outfits, and it's bad. It was really, really bad. I was like, wow, this is not something I would want to read in the future if this was going forward. It's just horrible, in my opinion.
It didn't seem like it was for me. I read some of it for an interview, but
Did you really?
I read like the beginning of it. I
Yeah.
didn't get to the end, but I didn't. I'm not a Red Hood fan usually. Like I like Jason, but not enough usually to read his ongoing. Like I like when he interacts with other people. So yeah, I didn't see quite. It seemed very gritty and wasn't. For
Yeah.
me.
It was okay at first because it's just like, oh, he's going to a new place. He's kind of starting over again. And he's meeting with a friend that's been watching his property. But then when you get to the antagonists, to the villains, I'm like, do I really care about a guy that is selling villain street apparel, like sneakers and clothes and stuff? Like I didn't get that. I'm like, it was too. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't. I just didn't like that story, that direction. I did not expect that whatsoever.
Yeah, Kat had told me that she read a little bit, and I asked her, "Am I gonna like it?" And she was like, "No." So I didn't even get it. I didn't even bother. It's like, I'll wait.
Not mind blowing.
That's funny. All right. Well, there's a chopping block. So, Brant, hand it over to you. Because now we're going to do the most anticipated books we're looking forward to.
Yeah, so you guys talked about a couple of these earlier, right? So I don't know which ones you guys talked about.
We talked about King in Black, Batman, Catwoman, kind of.
Yeah.
King in Black is the one we could talk about him again though, because we didn't even go into detail with it.
Right.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, we'll just go with those first then. Obviously, King in Black is the first, official of this whole thing. So
King in Black, I'm picking it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it. I'll see. I don't know.
I can't do anything but shaking my head at you guys because
I know.
I'm just scared it's gonna be so connected to Venom, and also it seems like it's gonna be very history driven, and that also feels like it's gonna be very like expositionary going on.
I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna be that much exposition. I think there's gonna be a lot of action. I think there's, if you read, Brant, you read Absolute Carnage, right?
See, I didn't like Absolute Carnage.
I like parts of it.
You like parts of it. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think this might be one of the better Marvel events, in my opinion. Just because there's been a build up to it for a very long time, and people have been knowing that it's been coming. Like, think about this. This is Donny Cates has been writing Venom since issue 1. It's been a few years. Obviously, this is his story that he's been looking forward to telling, right, for a very long time. So obviously he has this game in mind. It's not like Empire, where it's like, oh, all of a sudden in 2 months we have this big Marvel event called Empire coming out, So I think this is probably a well thought of storyline. And again, hopefully it will be good. If not, then, well, it's not. But,
I will say that for it, that it's been more of an organic build for it. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
And that's why I liked War of the Realms so much, because it was very much like, oh, that was built up for like 4 years, and it felt purposeful, and we're still seeing the effects of War of the Realms. So hopefully the same happens with King in Black. There's a lot of tie-ins, so we'll also see how that goes. But a lot of tie-ins like I'm interested in, which is also a reason I'm getting issue 1, is because I want to read Spider-Gwen, I want to read Valkyrie, I want to read some of these other books.
Right.
It's not going to stop me from reading them, but try issue 1.
So with Batman Catwoman, I just want to try it out and see where they're going with it.
I'm scared. I've not heard good things about this issue. I have not liked a Tom King book in a very long time. And from the preview pages I saw, it just looked really horny. It just seemed like they were making out the whole issue. So we'll see what happens. But that's like, from what I saw, that's it.
So it's the beginning of the New 52 Batman all over again.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
now it's Black Label, so they have all the excuses in the world to do
Oh,
it.
yeah. Okay. Lot of more. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So we'll see what happens with that one. There are a lot of books on here that just Mike marked, so I'm gonna run down through them. We got Erratic #1.
Yeah, so the Erratic is done by AWA Upshot.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's like
and
a
this is the
superhero book.
one. Yeah, this is the one where the pitch is, it's like kind of like Cat's pitch. It's like you're 15 years old. You have superpowers that only last 10 minutes at a time, and you have to save the world. It says it on that book. So it's kind of it's something. And if you look at the cover, it looks like a cross between Sideways and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a Spider character. He has that built, costumes kind of that way, almost like Sideways. And so based off of the pitch, I was like, wow, this seems like it could be really interesting because his powers are erratic. They're not constant. They go in and out, and he has only so long to save this world.
I think you just sold me on this book.
Yeah. See?
Let's get in the book.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I help make decisions on what comics to buy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my pitch on my every video.
Oh, Comic Book Corner 2.0. You know, for all of you that are watching on Comic Frontline. All right, so we got the Union #1. I forget what this one is, honestly.
So this is one of the first King in Black tie-ins.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So someone said on my Facebook group page, I guess they already read it, and they said that I don't know how they read it, unless they own a shop or whatever, but they said it was bad. So be ready just in case.
Yeah. All right, we got Daredevil #25, which somebody in the comments.
I heard big things happen in this issue.
Bavarian is she said her most anticipated is Daredevil issue 20.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
Well, because you guys haven't been reading it, right?
I haven't been able to fully catch up with it because I read the first couple issues and then kind of fell off and didn't get the. And that was during COVID. I read some of the issues.
So just a spoiler, Daredevil has been thrown in jail in this most recent issue, and he blames himself. He actually took a plea, and he blames himself that he murdered somebody, and now he's going to jail for it. So now we get to see, well, who's going to be the next Daredevil? Who's going to take his spot? So we kind of don't know that. Yeah. So it's been pretty cool. It's been a good series. I think this series reads much better in trade though, because how I caught up with it, I read it all in trade, and it was just like issue after issue after issue, and I couldn't put it down. And when when it comes out monthly, it doesn't grab your attention as much, but it's still a really well told story. It's a beautiful story. I just like it better in trade.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then we got Champions #3, continuing on with Outlawed.
Dropping in till Outlaw's over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on it. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're sticking with it, Brant?
Yeah, I'm sticking with it for now.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine for me right now. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna shout this out. Red Xmas #1. It's by a friend of mine, Clay Adams.
I wasn't sure if that was coming out tomorrow. I think they might have delayed it.
Oh, did they delay it? Okay, well, it's coming out
they
soon.
might have.
Tomorrow. It was on the lists, but maybe it was wrong.
Clay's great, and also the concept. Even if Clay wasn't our friend, it seems really interesting.
Yeah, so go check that out when it does come out. It's from Scout, so look up Scout. We got Thor #10, which I don't remember where we left off with Thor.
Donald Blake.
Okay, yeah, Donald Blake shows up again. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, that issue was crazy, man.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. Batman 104. You know, more Ghostmaker, right?
Ghostmaker, yeah. We got that battle going on between those two. And actually it was like he came in, stopped Batman, Harley was on the ground, Clown Hunter was on the ground, and that's kind of how it ended.
Yeah, I'm not loving it, but it's not terrible either. So
right.
Yeah, not liking Ghostmaker. I did read this issue already, so I can't say much, but still not liking Ghostmaker.
We got Firepower number 6, which I'm way behind on this.
Oh no!
Oh, you got to catch up. It's also such a quick read.
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute read every book.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to. I'm like way behind. So we'll
but you'll still. It's so quick and it's so good. Every issue has not disappoint me, so it's really good.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I've enjoyed what I've read, so I'll have to definitely catch up. All right, we got I'll save that one for last. Actually, that might be the last book. Yeah, that's the last book. So Endless Winter, which I think you guys already talked a little bit about.
Yeah, I'm gonna try out the first issue. I'm definitely getting the Teen Titans issue no matter what. But this issue will tell me if I'm gonna get all 9 parts.
Right. Same here. So that'll be cool. We'll know more about it finally, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get to talk about it next week.
Right. All those winter coats.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all the anticipated. So.
Cool. So I guess we'll wrap up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. You guys want to announce anything else, or are we any other things going on?
Nothing's ever going on until the Kickstarter is over. So go check out the Kickstarter. We already showed it. Mine only has 7 days left, so please go check it out. It's in the description and in the comments. So yes, every dollar counts. It's and I mean, you've probably watched the whole show at this point. You probably already know what it's about. So go check out the Kickstarter.
Yeah, mine's 13 days. It ends on a Tuesday, actually. It'll end right before we go live. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully I'll be celebrating on the live show in a couple weeks. But embercomic.com/hunted will take you right there. It's a nice little easy URL to get there. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it for now. Just the Kickstarter stuff. Oh, no, you know what? I will play. I'm actually lettering 5 projects that are live on Kickstarter right now.
I'll actually promote everyone else.
Yeah, just the Antagonists just launched early this morning. So go check that out. It's doing really well. Crossover Division, which is by our friend Will, and of course Like Father Like Daughter, which Kat already talked about, and POM I'm also lettering, but that one ends tomorrow. So
cool.
There you go.
All right, and then for me, I'll have my comic book haul up tomorrow. Like usual, we're going on to episode 450. And if you guys haven't checked it out already, you can hear my overall thoughts as well on Ten of Swords, my thoughts on the future of Reign of X, and all the books getting ready to come out that are connected with Reign of X. So I did a video on that as well. But yeah, 450 episodes of the comic book haul. That's since I started YouTube, basically. At this point, man, that is a long time. But yeah, that's what I got going on. So that's it, guys. We're going to sign it off for this week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's show. As always, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell on Comic Frontline and on Comic Book Corner 2.0.
Those brands up. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, they are. Don't forget to do all that great stuff. And guys, until next time, this is Mike Spiderslayer, Brant Fowler, Cat Comic Uno, signing off. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.